Alright,
Hi.
how's it going?
It's going well.
It's going better now that things aren't exploded. So, today we learned do not try to move a boiler with a controller on it and put fuel in it before you put water in it, because it will automatically turn itself on when you do the first maintenance, even if it's set to be off on the controller. We blew this up, half of this up, almost all of this, parts of that, some of this, all kinds of crap. So now, let's get into what we've actually done and explain what's going on. Alright, Slurpee.
What?
So,
Sydney.
Crazy built us a turbine, and we're using a cobalt rotor, which does 16,000 liters a second. We could use dark steel as well. It has the exact same stats completely. Durability, optimal steam, efficiency, everything. But we chose to use cobalt because we had plenty. And maintenance has all been done on it. It's ready to go. I've already hit it with the hammer. So we moved over our bronze plated brass furnace, and I'm going to go put this on. While I'm down here, NetMC will explain what we have going on down here. He's redone the redstone for us.
Okay. So this redstone is pretty much an identical copy of what we did for the other boiler. Down here at the bottom of the extreme voltage battery buffer is a redstone output that sends a level of how much redstone or how much power is stored in the batteries. And as this comes down, it will light this, and when it reaches 2, it will trigger this redstone repeater, which will invert this and turn off this side of it. It will turn this off. This is the on switch. So if the battery drops below 2, which basically means it's almost empty, it will trigger this redstone pulse. This is a big pulse generator, and it will trigger this side of the RS latch. When the power is almost full, it will come down this line all the way here to the repeater, and it will trigger this side of the RS latch, and which feeds into this redstone repeater here, which we are using as an isolator, into this block, which will invert this red torch, which will turn this one back on, and it will turn this one back off.
Yes. Go for it, dude.
The other side of this redstone down here takes input from a switch up above that's our manual cutoff. So the signal can come in on either side to this one block.
Okay. So, we're using an extreme voltage battery buffer, which he just told you, which is right here, full of Lapotron crystals. The reason why we went with that, even though we're only putting out 420 out of this HV dynamo, is because we want to have lots of power saved up. Because the longer you run this, the better it is on fuel efficiency. It takes like 40 some seconds, if I remember correctly, to get heated completely up to be putting out the 16,000 steam that it needs to run optimally. And I'll try to explain what we're doing back here. Basically, that 512 is coming out. It's going into the extreme buffer and into this transformer, which I need to get the rest of this covered. That one don't need it, but oh well. And then that transformer is feeding into this medium voltage battery buffer, which is going to have this battery in it. which it's now energizing the two machines that are here, this transformer for this machine, and powering these two with RF. We went with 2 fermenters now because we're just having way too much saplings backing up. And we have 2 advanced fluid extractors, but we're only going to be using 1 currently. One of these is going to be fed with water. The other one will be filled with juice from the apples. So this side will have an apple input that'll go in here and be exactly like what we used to have over here. This one will have water in it, and eventually this one will be doing honey, so we can get the same output on both of them. Honey and fruit juice is the same multiplier, water is worse. But because we have so many saplings we just want to get rid of, we're going to run one side with just water for now. The compressor is basically just going to be for compressing our charcoal from the 2 Pyroluce ovens. That's why we have the output right here on both of them. So we'll basically just pipe that up to either side, and then the output will come out either the back or the top, wherever we decide to. And then that'll be piped over to the input bus here, but we'll have a buffer here to hold it like we did over on the other side. So let's give the boiler and redstone and everything a good try. Let's see if we can make some power. You'll notice out here, if Crazy's following me, you guys on her side will see too, that we have a couple other multi-blocks that need to get hooked up and ran, but we'll explain them when we get there. Most of you probably know what they are. Alright, so let's throw this in here. We do have water. That is creosote. That is water. We're running smaller pipes, so I want to keep an eye on this. Everybody cross your fingers, nothing blows up. So here goes the charcoal.
I'm going to stand over here.
That would probably be a good idea. Alright, the water looks like it's staying good. The bronze boiler's on, the turbine is running. And so we should be getting power back here. But right now it's got to fill that extreme buffer's internal storage before it starts filling these. And also it's on the heat up because, like I said, it takes like 40 seconds or some shit for it to get all the way up to power. So it's not putting out the full 420 EU a tick right now. Alright, so has this thing started taking any power yet? The Lapatrons take a little while to show.
It doesn't appear to.
Yeah, they take a little while because of how big they hold, because it's, 10 million EU, just one on there is like a million. So while we let that run, show you what we got going on outside here real quick. And we're staying pretty safe on our water. If you've seen that big pipe coming off the turbine there, get my sword out just in case. Everything's not always safe around here. We have this new big ass tank out here. There's that huge pipe. This is our distilled water tank, which you can see we're getting a little bit into it. We did that because we're going to eventually have reactors and we need distilled water for cooling. And I also put in a little farm over there because I need lots and lots of seed oil. So that's just melons and pumpkins for me to use in my squeezer here to make impregnated casings. I've gotten my second alveary done, So now my Imperials and my Industrious have their own alvearies, so I can make other alvearies. And apparently NetMC's out murdering creepers. I just heard one die. Alright, so we are getting power in our Lapatrons now. We're up to 38.9. And it looks like the main is getting full before the medium voltages, because I haven't seen it tick at all. So we may have to change the way we do this. We may have to put in 2 transformers and go from HV, or from EV to HV to MV, because this is what makes our creosote, and if it runs our charcoal. So if this doesn't get power, there's going to be a problem. So good to know that we're going to have to change that around. I was hoping we wouldn't have to. And I'm going to re-pipe all of our stuff into the Pyrolusses and get them going later. I wanted to test out this new boiler setup, make sure everything was going to work fine with it. Have we showed the... No, we haven't. We made an addition to the blast furnace upstairs. We now have an extractor. This is an HV extractor. It's not needed to be HV, but because we didn't want to mess with transformers, we went with the HV. That's going to pump electrum into this hatch. And you needed that for what, Crazy?
Fiberglass. Circuit board.
Oh, yeah. So she wanted to make the
green one.
Green fiberglass circuit board here. So she's going to need glass dust, carbon dust, and molten electrum to make 16 of them. And those are used to make these nano processors, which is an advanced circuit, but it's a lot easier to make than the ones that she's making now. It needs 600 EU a tick, which is EV circuit assembler. Have you made one of them yet?
Yes. You just haven't hooked it up yet.
Okay. So now that we have our EV power, now we got to go through the base and basically change everything over to either EV power to transformers or run the EV line. We have an EV line right here that is running from over there. And what we're going to do for right now, which I don't know how easy this is going to be for Crazy to see, is we are going to put this transformer... Crap, I didn't grab it out of the box. We're going to put a transformer in right here. Where is Crazy at? Down there. Okay, there's a junction right here. You can come around the back side. There's a little walkway back here now. No, not that side, this side. Yeah. Right here above where I'm standing, there's a junction right here. That's where we're going to put it. That way it'll feed everything going that way on one side of the transformer, these guys on this side, and then that line will be on this side. Some of this down here is going to be changing. Crazy has gotten my filters made that I needed to set up our ore processing and our super buffer, our first one. So we're going to set up our ore processing line maybe in the next one. Where is that? There it is. There's a transformer. And she also was able to make the data stick. So we're going to go do some prospecting and we will probably set up the stuff to make the TNT, or dynamite is what we're going to be using, and probably set that up in actually the very next video. Apparently Econ Brony over on the Aurora server is having an issue with the drilling rig, so we're gonna record testing it and see if we're having the same issues for him. Alright, so that goes there. We're going to wrench this over that direction. And everybody ready for sparks and booms? Alright, I gotta do this just to make sure, damn it. It always bugs me when I look at a transformer and it says HV. So it's EV to HV. Okay. It just worries me when I see the lower side. So there we go. Oh, and everything blows up. Alright. So we got that done. This diesel generator is going to come out of here. We're going to reset the way that is done. And we can now remove this battery buffer and all these batteries, which we will probably reuse that somewhere. Can you grab that last battery?
No. What last battery?
There's one battery left in the high voltage battery buffer down there.
Okay.
Alright. It won't cause a problem sending power into it from the wrong side, but I just don't like having them sitting there. I'm going to throw them in my dump chest over here. And we'll deal with moving it later. What we're probably going to do is move that battery buffer upstairs and put it on the one of the blast furnaces up there, which, by the way, you want to pop back up here, Crazy. I didn't show them my piping for the titanium. We've been trying to make lots and lots of titanium, so we have automated it a little bit now. Basically, there is a conveyor module here pulling the stuff out of here. It comes up, the titanium will go into this, so we can just grab it out of there and take it downstairs, which hopefully the second vacuum freezer will be coming up here very, very soon. Everything else, which is just the magnesium chloride, comes into the back side of here, automatically gets processed, pulled out, shoved through this pipe into here, which auto crafts it into our magnesium dust and puts it right back into here so it can start up the next process. So the only thing we have to do currently is add the carbon to the first chemical reactor there, sodium to the second one here, and then every now and then give it a little extra magnesium here, because it's not an infinite loop. You do lose a little bit every now and then, but it allows us to do a pretty good chunk at a time. I think we've been doing like a stack and a half at a time. I think that's about how much carbon. This ceiling is going to drop one, because if you noticed up here, we don't have a whole lot of headroom in here. This is our pipe and wire area. And also, this pipe is going to be leaving very, very soon, because Crazy has gotten us a distillation tower and cracking unit done. So these three need to get hooked up in the next few days. But we have been working for the last almost week, I think it's been, since we put out a video, just trying to get the Pyroluce done, the turbine done, the other one's built, and get everything to the point where we could actually do this part of it. And we're getting up there in power. That's 600 per battery. So you should be able to turn on all your machines now. She had turned them off manually to allow it to not try to pull power while we're moving. And unless Crazy has anything to add, I think I am finally done rambling.
I have nothing.
Okay. So take it easy, everybody. We'll see you next time. Now that we got our power shifted over, you should get a couple videos out this week, not just one like last week, hooking up these other things. So have a good one.
Bye.